It's Friday. Hello, everyone. Out there on the internet. Finally, Friday is about to begin. Finally, Friday is being brought to you this week by Major Spoilers VIP and Patreon members from around the world. You can show your support for everything that we do at Major Spoilers by pointing your browser to patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope wherever you are in the world, some of you, it's already Saturday. Some of you, it's already way late on a Friday. For some of you, you still have several hours left in your workday, but wherever you are, I hope that you are well. Speaking of well, slowly recovering. I'm going to start off with an apology to everyone who was expecting a game stream yesterday. If you're not familiar, Monday through Thursday, when Steven has got his head screwed on right, I do a game stream from 12:30 p.m. all time central, 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. I play a variety of different games, mostly electronic versions of board games. Hang out, have a lot of fun. People are really good. Problem is, I had an allergic reaction to something, so I took a Zyrtec. And I fell asleep. And didn't wake up until it was time to go get the boys from school. So there we are. Hey, there's Sin Hunter, there's Malone. Hello to both of you. Oh, thank you, the one J. Michael T. Thank you for subscribing. Certainly appreciate that. Everything that you guys do helps. The stars are falling. I want to talk about VOD and how things have changed in the last week. We talked about some of this already on the Major Spoilers podcast. We've talked that Tenet, the Christopher Nolan movie, is finally going to make its VOD and digital streaming arrival on December 15th, which is good. And then we got two more announcements this week. The first one is that Pixar's Soul will skip theaters and go to Disney Plus. And it will drop on December 25th. So Christmas Day, which, you know, I didn't know this until I got out of college and moved to Atlanta. And all of a sudden people were like, oh yeah, we're going to go to, see movies all day on Christmas. I was like, what the heck? What the what? I thought you were supposed to do time with family. And sure enough, you do time with family, you do your dinner, and then you go watch movies all day. And then when I moved to California, specifically, that's what I did, is I drove around from theater to theater watching different movies of all shapes and sizes. It's a fun experience. So for me, going to see a movie on Christmas Day is a nice thing. It's a nice getaway. It's a nice diversion. And Disney is trying to do that with Pixar's Soul that will drop on December 25th and give people who are stuck at home something to do. This will be part of the Disney Plus service. Then we come to find out that Wonder Woman 1984 is also going to arrive on Christmas Day. Now, this one is interesting because originally, Wonder Woman 1984 was done filming 2 years ago in 2018. It was supposed to come out in, I believe, the end of 2019, then that got pushed. And then it was the first part of 2020, and then that got pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And finally, they landed it on December 25th and said, no, that's what's going to happen. And everyone was like, there's not going to be any theaters open on December 25th. So either you guys are going to wait till 2021, or you're going to put it out on streaming service. Well, Warner Brothers has decided to split the difference. Apparently, there are some theaters that are still planning on being open on December 25th if you want to go to the theater. So they're going to release Wonder Woman 1984 on Christmas Day, both in theaters and on HBO Max. And I think that's a pretty good deal. Because on the one hand, if theaters do decide that they want to be open, they can make a little bit of money. And for everyone else who's smart, they can stay home and watch it on HBO Max. Now, HBO Max, surprisingly, I guess does not have a lot of subscribers, which I find surprising because I've been using HBO Max a lot. Granted, it's a little bit more expensive than Netflix or Disney Plus, but I figured they'd at least have 12, 15, 20 million people, not the 74 million that Disney Plus has, but I figured they'd have at least 15 or 20 million subscribers. No, apparently they only have 9 million subscribers, which is not a lot. And now that AT&T owns them and they're trying to put a lot of pressure on Warner Brothers, that HBO Max thing is kind of a thing that they want. So here's the cool thing with Wonder Woman 1984. It's going to be available in theaters and on HBO Max starting on December 25th. If you already have an HBO Max subscription, you don't have to pay anything extra. Unlike Mulan, and probably unlike Soul, I didn't look to see if Soul was going to be an extra charge or not. Mulan, Disney tried to tack on an extra charge, and that didn't work out so well for them. But HBO Max is going to release Wonder Woman 1984 for free on HBO Max for the first 30 days. And then after that, I don't know if it's going off the service and then we'll come back, or if that's when they will institute a premium VOD, or if they're going to just take it off and wait for, you know, a regular VOD release some 90 days later, and then charge you the $19.95 for that. So that's rather interesting, because now they can't get into any fights with the theater owners, because they're like, well, we're releasing this on day of release, same day as in theaters, and we're not making any money off of it because we're not charging any extra, unlike those Disney people over there, unlike those Universal Studios people over there. And so maybe that's going to make the theater owners okay with this, especially if it's a limited thing. Although, you know, Warner Brothers did release Scoob, skipped the theaters and went direct to VOD with Scoob. So I don't know, maybe they've got it all worked out. The good thing for Warner Brothers and AT&T is that Wonder Woman 1984 is, a lot of people are very excited about this. I told my oldest that Wonder Woman 1984 was coming out on Christmas Day, and he got very excited because we went to go see Wonder Woman in the theater with my wife. He, my oldest son, or it's my wife, my oldest son, and me, went to the theater to see it together, and we all had a great time, and my wife loved that movie. And so he wasn't excited that we get to see Wonder Woman 1984. He was excited because he knows that that's my wife's favorite movie, and he's like, oh, Mom's gonna love seeing the new Wonder Woman movie, and we're gonna make that on Christmas Day. The good thing is, hopefully this will kickstart some more subscribers to get onto HBO Max, and especially with the Snyder Cut coming out someday. Hopefully that will also get some more people on board, but hopefully this will kickstart and give HBO Max a little bit of a boost as they go into the holiday season. And also, it's going to be released a week early, December 16th, I believe, in China, for anybody who wants to go, anybody who's in China and wants to see it there. So the nice thing about this is because it's going to be in theaters and it's released wide to whatever theaters that are open, technically Wonder Woman now qualifies for an Oscar. Lots of yellow. I don't know what you guys are talking about. You guys, looks like you're talking about Ultraman. So, we've got Wonder Woman, that's great. We've got Soul, that's great. We've got Tenet, that's great. I was going to, for the last 3 years, I've been wanting to take down the projector in our home theater and just put up a 4K screen, because 4K projectors are still rather expensive and the bulbs get rather expensive. And I just figured, oh, you know, let's downsize, let's lose, I think, total like 6 inches, and get a big TV to put in place of the screen. And I wasn't going to do it. For 3 years I've been doing it, but last minute I've always not pulled the trigger because of other expenses that come up. And I wasn't going to do it this year because the boys' Christmas presents were very, very expensive. But there was a deal. Some of these Black Friday deals have already started, and I was able to find the TV that I wanted at an incredibly low price. So I kind of pulled the trigger. And I did it because now on Christmas Day, Hopefully this will arrive before Christmas. We can all sit downstairs as a family and watch it. Nice crystal clear 4K right there on the new TV. So I'm very excited about that. I kind of gave a little bit of a side glance to Universal Pictures because Universal made a big deal when they released Trolls 2 direct-to-video, skipping the theaters and making a lot of theater owners angry, including AMC, who said we will never run another Universal movie in our theaters ever again without really thinking, oh, wait a minute, that's the same company that does Jurassic Park franchise. That's the same company that does all the Fast and the Furious franchise. Well, it does look like Universal has worked out an agreement between AMC and Cinemark. And under the terms of the new agreement, this is from Variety, Universal Pictures, Focus Features, and DreamWorks Animation can put new movies on premium VOD platforms 17 days after the movie hits theaters. That's a pretty good deal. Unless, there's always a but, right? Unless titles that generate at least $50 million in opening weekend, then that exclusivity to theaters goes to 31 days. So it basically gives them 5 weekends to make as much money as they can. After that, though, then it goes to VOD. So they can't say, well, if it's still making $50 million 5 weeks later, we get to extend that a little bit further. So let's say when the next Fast and the Furious Let's Go to Space movie arrives, that's going to be in theaters for 31 days. Then it's going to hit VOD. But it's good to see that Universal has worked out an agreement and that everybody is good. Now, that being said, The Croods: A New Age does drop, I believe, on VOD on November 25th, this Thanksgiving. And the Tom Hanks Promising Young Woman arrives on December 25th. Now, I don't know if that's going to go right to VOD or what the deal is with that at the moment. But theater chains struggling still in this pandemic, and things are getting pretty crazy here in the United States, as many other countries in the world. And it's going to be a scary time for both theater owners and for movie studios if they can't get product out the door. And so this right now, things that myself, Ashley V. Robinson, have been saying on Finally Friday and the Major Spoilers podcast and other places, this seems to be probably the best solution for everyone right now. Studios get studios are going to get some money. Theaters are going to get a little bit of money. Hopefully they can limp along until things get a little bit better. But I think that, as I've also said before, I initially poo-pooed the George Lucas, Steven Spielberg idea that movie theaters were going to become an exclusive experience, kind of like going to see a Broadway play, and the tickets would be, premium, $50, something like that. But I've changed my mind since COVID-19. And I think that we will see more demand for VOD, people watching it in their homes. Like I said, a huge television screen for very little money. I mean, right now, if you go to Walmart, they have 75-inch televisions, 75-inch televisions for $800, and it's not even their Black Friday sales. So you can imagine that in most homes, 75 inches is pretty big. You hook that up to your Apple box or your Roku box or whatever box that you're streaming on, your new Xbox, and you can watch that stuff at home and have a really good experience for very little money. And so I think that once this premium VOD is going to take off, that we're going to see a lot of people say, we want more of that. Skip the theater experience until the theaters are like, hey, the Alamo Drafthouse, we're going to do that all over the place, but we're going to ramp it up. We're going to make it even better, but it's going to cost you a little bit more. The theaters won't be as packed because we're going to give you more space, more table to set your drinks on, bigger seats, couch seats, whatever that they may want to be. But it's going to cost you, $50 for a ticket. But you're going to see the movie in the theater the way Christopher Nolan wants you to see it in the theater. And it's going to be an experience, the same way Quentin Tarantino wants you to see it in the theater. So I think that's a pretty good deal. It is a rough time to be a theater owner. Kevin Smith, if you guys watched last week's charity stream with Jason Inman and Ashley Victoria Robinson. Their anchor for the whole event was Kevin Smith, and he came on. And one of the questions Jason asked was, well, what do you think the future of movie-going is going to be? And Kevin just, held up his phone and says, it's all right here. It's all going to be on your mobile device. And he went on to say that the theater in his hometown where he grew up, or the one that was next door to the town where he grew up, had been in operation for 99 years. And just recently, I guess within the last month or so, they had announced that they were closing because they just couldn't keep up with it was a mom and pop theater. They just couldn't keep up with the big chains. They couldn't keep up with COVID. They couldn't survive. So they're closing their doors. HBO Max is my favorite between Apple TV Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu. Well, you didn't mention Amazon Prime. Says the 1J Michael T. They seem to have more of what I want to watch, but I think it might be because of an older viewer. I tend to go deep into their catalog. That's true. That's one of the pluses for HBO Max, is that they do have a deep catalog. They do have, over 100 years of movies that you can watch. It's hard to imagine theaters will ever recover fully after this. Same thing, SS Business Travel. I don't know what Steven Schleicher Business Travel is, but you're right. And really, to be honest, it's going to take a while for, I think, a lot of us to recover from that shock of social gatherings and other things. I went to the doctor's office the other day, routine checkup. Just a thing that I do every 3 to 6 months, depending on what the doctor says. And even though, I know it's a doctor's office and I know that they're taking precautions, they're wearing their masks and their PPEs. They weren't wearing gloves, which is okay because they're always constantly washing their hands and disinfecting and everything. But I was sitting in the examining room and the nurse comes in and she sits down on the computer and is typing on the computer and using the mouse and everything. She gets up, she washes her hands and leaves. And then the doctor came in and he sat down and started using he comes in, washes his hands, sits down, uses the keyboard and the mouse. And knowing that, even though they're being super cautious, I was still a little freaked out about that. So yeah, I think getting back into theaters is going to be a big deal. Eddie Murphy's Coming to America 2, Coming to America, arrives on Amazon Prime on March 21st. Or not March 21st, but March 2021. This is one of those things where there was some shuffling back and forth about who was going to have this movie, and I guess Amazon Prime Video now has it with Amazon Studios. So some places might be, again, skipping theaters or skipping certain distribution networks and going to other places. I think, wasn't Coming to America, isn't that a Paramount joint? Everything is ramping up, and that does mean that there are going to be some casualties. If you follow anybody from the CW shows on their Instagrams, or just, actors in general, the actors from Kim's Convenience were showing pictures from their set, everybody wearing their PPEs and masks between takes. Candace Patton, isn't that her name? From The Flash. She was talking about how every time she wears a mask, it smears lipstick all over her face. But at least she's acting for the next season of The Flash, which will also be interesting. That's supposed to arrive, I want to say in January, February is when that comes out. It'll be interesting to see how long they're able to do that. Just announced before the show today, Black Lightning will end its CW run after season 4. So we have lost Green Arrow, Supergirl, and now Black Lightning. I think Supergirl, this is the last season for that. No real reason except that it was time to move on. I know the show was still super popular among, certain fans. I know Matthew was still watching it. I kind of dropped off at the end of the season 1. There's just too much going on. But the executive producer, Salima Kill, said that they are going to go ahead and work on that backdoor pilot that we mentioned on the Major Spoilers podcast a couple of weeks ago. That by the time the season ends, there's going to be another character introduced, and then that will get its own season, apparently. And Akil will continue to produce that and serve as the director. I don't know what's going on with Legends of Tomorrow. I know we've got a new Batwoman coming out. And we've got reruns of the Swamp Thing going on. And apparently that's popular enough that they're thinking that, hey, maybe it's time to rebuild that set and get back into production for that. Also announced was a new Wonder Girl series coming to the CW. So it's not like they're just shutting up shop on everything comic books at the CW and Berlanti Productions. But the network is developing Wonder Girl, a drama based on the DC characters from Joelle Jones. This is going to feature the Brazilian Wonder Girl that is going to be part of the Future, was it Future State? Future Force, whatever the upcoming DC event is, starting in January. And so that will be part of that. So part of me, when it comes to the CW shows, some of them I think it's time for them to end, like The Flash. It wouldn't surprise me if at the end of this season they're like, yeah, we're done with The Flash, or we're going to do one more season and that's the end of that. But I kind of like that they have shows that are coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. We've got the Superman and Lois show that's coming out. There's another new show that they're launching this year. We've got the Wonder Girl show, the Batwoman show. We'll have some shows close, and, you know, maybe those shows will last for a couple of years, and then they'll introduce Blue Beetle or something. They'll introduce Booster Gold. They'll introduce somebody else, and they'll just kind of start rotating shows around, trying to get as many seasons out of them as they can. I think Black Lightning probably easily could have gone to 5 seasons, so that it could have gone into syndication and more DVD sales, etc. But I honestly think that the pandemic just really shut all that down. So that's kind of what's going on in the world of VOD and television shows. I'm kind of excited about Christmas. You know, used to be a time where it's like, let's go to the movies, let's go to the movies. And now it's, let's sit down and go to the movies. I don't think it will be as a big deal mentally for me as some people, mostly because my good luck in living in Finland, the least infections per 100,000 people in Europe. Very fortunate. Yes, that's true. Malone says, oh no, this is someone else saying that Life's a Pitch podcast says, yeah, I'm in the UK. We're back in lockdown and everything has been woefully mishandled. Yeah. Here in the United States, it's the exact same way. I met my wife in, I want to say, 2002. I want to say. Don't quote me on that. Summer of 2002. And for 18 years, every Thanksgiving, we go to her parents' house. Because Thanksgiving weekend also just happens to be her birthday weekend. And we don't get to see her parents that often. And so Thanksgiving is a big deal. We are there for 4 or 5 days, as long as we possibly can. We don't go anywhere when we're there. It's just hanging out with the family, catching up, talking, playing, doing whatever, so that everyone has that family time. This year will be the first time in 18 years that my wife will not get to see her parents on her birthday, face to face. Because we have opted to stay home. We would want nothing more than to go see her parents face to face. They're wonderful people. Every single one of you watching would love my wife's parents. But we know that if we go, we are putting them at risk of getting COVID. And they are, I don't know how old they are, late 70s, early 80s. And we do not want, we want them to stick around for a long time. But we know that they're in a category that if they get infected, there is a good chance that they could pass away. And so we are making the sacrifice. Believe me, when we had the long talk with the whole family about this, my wife cried, my mother-in-law cried, everyone was very upset and sad, but we understood one thing, that this was the time that we make the sacrifice so that next year we can be together. And I don't think enough people understand that right now. We can look at the death tolls that are going astronomical. We can see the number of infections increasing every single day. And yet people are insisting that they need to get together for the holidays. It's my right to see my family. This Thanksgiving, that's what Thanksgiving is about family. How dare you tell me not to travel? There's an interesting map that you can go, I don't know, I don't have the address, but I went and was looking at it yesterday, based on trends, based on infection rates, based on population size. There's this map that you can go and check out that if you gather in a group of 10 or more people, the likelihood in your county of you contracting COVID. And I don't know if this is masked up or not masked, but if we're talking about family gatherings of 10 or more people, Russell County, which is the county just to the east of us, it's 100%. If you gather with people, you will get infected. Ellis County, where I live, 99% chance of you catching COVID. If you're in Topeka, an 87% chance of getting COVID. Yet the Topeka School District has decided that it's time to send the kids home and not come back until February. Do homeschooling. You know, fall is a good time for watching football. Everybody likes watching football. Thanksgiving is a good day to watch football. And one of the things that always annoys the heck out of me is seeing people celebrating a win when they are 3 points down and they're at the 1 yard line. You know, if they can make this touchdown, they will win the game. And it's like the last play. We're on the 1 yard line, of course we'll make it. And people are jumping up and down and cheering and celebrating. Hey, we won the game. No, you haven't. You're at the 1 yard line. You're going to do something stupid. You know, or those guys that are like running down the sidelines and they're holding out their hands and celebrating in the last 10 yards and then they trip and fall and fumble the ball. Those people just drive me insane. And yet that's where we are at right now. We as a world are literally at the 1 yard line and we are celebrating. Yes, there have been vaccines announced that have a really high success rate. But those vaccines haven't been distributed yet. Those vaccines have not been injected into anyone's arms except for the test subjects. There still needs to be some approvals as to rapid deployment. There's still a lot of questions on how those vaccines are going to be deployed. There's still a lot of questions about who's going to get those vaccines first, and in what order, and in what urgency. So yes, while several vaccines have been announced, it's still going to be months and months before the average person like you and I are going to be inoculated. We are at the 1 yard line and we are celebrating a victory. And that's when you know you've lost the game. So I know that it is hard to say to your loved ones, I'm sorry, we can't come to see you this year because we want you to live. I know that's hard. But I'm going to ask every single one of you who are watching this show either now or on the replay, stay home this Thanksgiving. There's no reason for you to go and see your family members. There's no reason to partake in a Black Friday sale. There's no, in person, there's no reason to rush to the store at midnight to try to get a good deal. No reason to do any of that. And when you look at this map of the United States and see what the infection rate is, even at 87% in Topeka, you're going to take that risk? Because if you go and celebrate with large groups of people this Thanksgiving, there's a very good chance you won't be celebrating and having a happy holiday or a Merry Christmas this year. I think I'm going to leave it right there. Be smart. Stay home. protect other people. Think about other people. Don't think about yourself. Don't think about your own needs. Think about other people. And that's really what we should be giving thanks about. Is thankful that we have loved ones that are alive and well. And if you certainly have lost loved ones during this time period, I certainly feel sorry for you. And you have my sympathies. But this is not a time to be celebrating a touchdown on the 1-yard line when you haven't even scored. This is a time where we need to sacrifice, where we need to make some hard choices, and we need to say, we can do this another time. We're not going to do Finally Friday next week because it is the Thanksgiving week. In fact, it is my wife's birthday next Friday. So we're not going to be doing any streaming next week. We're going to spend time as a family in our house, probably FaceTiming, probably stuffing our faces with turkey or something. And we'll be FaceTiming with our families, and I hope you will too. We'll be back the week after, the first weekend in December, and then we'll roll to the end of the year. We do have a VIP live chat tomorrow for all of our patrons from the $1 level and higher. There's more information at patreon.com/majorspoilers. Be safe, be smart, do good, be good. And we'll see you again.